Can you see the rhythm of this? By seeing, I mean, can you hear in your head the rhythm that right and left hand will make? I can simplify it for you by using only one note. Or just take a look at the left hand and try to play it with single C note. If you ever want to play new pieces by sight reading, you must be able to recognize the rhythm in your head first. If you find some piece on a musescore.com, for example, and first you just play it to hear the rhythm, this is a very bad habit. I used to do it, and it blocked me in improving this skill of recognizing the rhythm. So don't repeat my mistakes and learn how to see the rhythm. So I'll be working on this example, separately on right and left hand. Let's start with the left hand. What do we have here? Few 8th notes, few 16th notes, and one 8th note with a dot. So what is the shortest type of a note in this example? 16th note. I will use 16th notes as a reference. So let's start by filling one whole measure with 16th notes, to use it as a metronome. How many of such notes will I have? Time signature is 4/4, which means 4 quarter notes per measure. Each quarter note can be divided into 2 8th notes, and each 8th note can be divided again into 2 16th notes. So in the end, in one measure we can fit 16 16th notes. And this will be my metronome. And so on. And now let's take a look at the pattern for the left hand. First we have an 8th note, so I can put it here. 16th note in my metronome takes 2 squares, so the 8th note, which is twice longer, will take 4 squares. I will play the metronome with my right hand, and together with left hand it will sound like this. Then we have one 16th note, 2 squares. Then an 8th note, 4 squares. Then we have 2 16th notes and one 8th note. Another 2 16th notes. And now I have an 8th note with a dot, which you can treat as 1.5 of 8th note. So single 8th note took 4 squares, so one with a dot will take 6. And in the end, 1/8 note. So all together will sound like this. So start very slow and try to play this rhythm only by looking at length of these notes. And in fact, this is the strategy that you can use for playing this rhythm in your head. So when you see something like this, try to find the shortest note. Start the metronome in your fingers, for example, and imagine playing this rhythm in your head. Of course, it's much easier when you have a piano. What about the right hand pattern? There are only 4 quarter notes in the measure. So I will have one note for each 4 beats of the metronome. Let's move the metronome to the left hand. And now the last part, combining the rhythm of both hands together. Right hand is easier, so I will fill the measure with those 4 quarter notes. And let's add left hand with short sections. It's best to also have a metronome while combining both hands. So let's stop here at first. Let's add another section. Keep in mind that this second quarter note for the right hand starts in the middle of this 8th note. Then another quarter note. And again, it starts in the middle of this 8th note. And the last section. Here, this 8th note with a dot is tricky because right hand hits new quarter note after the length of a 16th note here. Try it first with a really slow tempo. When you are sure you understand the rhythm, then it's time to go back to the original piece. So let's try playing the rhythm with a single note once more, but this time looking only at the original piece. First the left hand, and both hands. So in the original piece, in the right hand we have C major, with additional C 1 octave higher, then C major 7, but without the 5th, then C major without the fifth, but with this additional note in the next octave, and E. So all together sounds like this. In the left hand we have C major arpeggio. First, let's find all notes that are used here. C major has notes C, E and G. So you can have these notes here, C, E, G, also one octave higher, C, E, G, and let's also take C from the next octave. We will use all these notes except for this second note here. So I start with fingers 5th, 2nd and 1st, then 4th finger to E, 2nd to G, 1st to C, and back to G, E, G, and back to E. And now with the correct rhythm. Also with the metronome. And now all together. After some practice, you will be able to do everything that I presented today in your head. So I hope this video really showed you how important this skill is. The same situation is with chords. They are also really important and you can check this video to discover why. Thank you and see you next time.